Hello and welcome to our latest edition of Tech Check, where we bring you all the major developments from the world of technology. I'm Sejal Pandey and I will take you through everything tech that happened over this week. Before we deep dive into tech, news and announcements of the week, let us wish Apple many congratulations for a decade-long successful journey with the iPhone. It was on this day 10 years ago when Apple introduced its first iPhone, a device that led to the smartphone revolution. Take a look at this report to know how the first iPhone changed the definition of smartphone once and for all.
An iPod, a phone. Are you getting it? These are not three separate devices. This is one device. And we are calling it iPhone. Today, Apple is going to reinvent the phone.
It was a product launch that would not only change the way people looked at Apple, but would go on to redefine how we communicate. The iPhone is 10 years old. Such has been the impact of the iPhone that with every product launch, fans queue up to get their hands on the latest and greatest Apple has to offer. Before the iPod, Apple was only known as a maker of computers. But such has been the success of the iPhone that it has enabled Apple to expand its product lineup to tablets and smartwatches. Since 2007, Apple has sold more than 1 billion iPhones. While the beginning was sluggish, today Apple earnings not only come from the smartphone, but its services through apps like the App Store account for more than $30 billion in revenue. But the iPhone has had its share of controversies. The most well-known has been Apple's legal battle with Samsung over patents. Apple faced massive backlash on the failure of its new Maps app, which forced the company to issue a public apology. The company has often come under fire for abysmal working conditions in its partner factories in China. Most recently, Apple was criticized for the fragility of iPhone 6 after videos showing bent iPhones went viral on the web. But Apple faces a much bigger challenge today. The iPhone may have been the first of its kind in 2007, but it exists in a very different market today. The emergence of Chinese brands have threatened Apple's leadership. iPhone engineers have been criticized for losing out its edge on innovation. But the key to relevance for Apple may lie on going beyond the iPhone. Bureau Report, WION.
Well, there is still a long time for the new iPhone to arrive, but there is something that is already out and iPhone users can just rejoice. Apple has made the iOS 11 public beta available for download. Every year, Apple makes sure that the beta software is available for all its users to download and experiment before its final release in fall. And this time is no different either. iOS 11 was unveiled at the WWDC 2017 and the developer preview was made available right after the event. iOS 11 gets an improved Siri, redesigned Control Center and iMessage integration into Apple Play. The new iOS software also has additional features such as a Do Not Disturb While Driving feature and indoor mapping with further improvements to Apple Maps. Users willing to download the new version can get access to the iOS 11 public beta by signing into the Apple Beta software program with their respective Apple IDs. But do make sure you fully back up your iPhones and iPads before doing so. Now, while Apple has been celebrating 10 years of the iPhone and releasing new software builds, arch rival Google, on the other hand, is having a rough time. The company has been hit with a record fine of $2.7 billion for favoring its own shopping service by European Union antitrust regulators. It is the biggest fine the European Commission has ever imposed on a single company in an antitrust case. In fact, it exceeds a €1.06 billion sanction handed down against US chipmaker Intel in 2009. Also, it goes far beyond what US regulators have ever fined a tech company. Google has been given 90 days to stop favoring its own shopping service in internet searches or face a further daily penalty of up to 5% of parent company Alphabet's average daily global revenue. And in another sad news from Google, the Google Talk is now officially dead. After encouraging users to replace Google Talk with Hangouts for a long time, Google has now officially shut down its Google Talk service. One of the oldest messaging applications to exist, Google Talk, was introduced 12 years ago. Back in time, it was the coolest way to chat with your friends and loved ones, but sadly, all good things must come to an end. Staying true to its word, the tech giant has replaced it with Hangouts. Users will now have to shift to Hangouts, and according to reports, the existing chats in Google Talk will automatically be transferred to Hangouts. To make Hangouts richer, Google has added new features to it, such as the video conference service. While many people have already moved to Hangouts, it's time for all those who are yet to make that move to take that step forward in technology. Now, sad news shouldn't stay with you for long, and therefore, we move forward to something really interesting. Let us update you that NASA's CASSINI spacecraft, which has been on a 20-year-long journey exploring Saturn, has sent back some remarkable images of the planet. The spacecraft transmitted back a spectacular snapshot that shows a sliver of Saturn's sunlit atmosphere, showing off its icy rings sprawled across the foreground like a dark band from about 7 degrees below the ring plane. The image that has been titled Saturnian Dawn was taken in green light on March 31st from a distance of around 1 million kilometers from Saturn. NASA reveals that the final orbits bring the spacecraft closer to the planet than ever before, because of which Cassini has been able to beam back stunning high-resolution images and new insights into Saturn's interior structure and the origins of its rings. And in other big news, the way cars are driven today would soon be changed for good. NVIDIA has announced its third automotive partnership this year by partnering with Volvo Cars and Swedish auto supplier Autoliv to develop self-driving car technology for vehicles, which could be launched by 2021. NVIDIA, who has already partnered with Tesla, Toyota, Motor, and Tier 1 supplier Robert Bosch. The big announcement was made during a conference in Germany earlier this week. NVIDIA now plans to install its Drive PX supercomputer system in Volvo cars by 2021. The move made by NVIDIA is seen as a direct pit against Intel, which is co-developing the autonomous drive platform for BMW and Mobileye for $15.3 billion in March this year. NVIDIA came to prominence 2 decades ago as a supplier of 3D graphics processing chips for the video game industry. But in recent years, it has become a key player in the automotive sector for providing the so-called quote-unquote brain of the autonomous vehicle. Now, technology is one thing that will keep making our lives easier and better. But as we all know, it's the content that has always been king. And that is exactly what Facebook is stepping into next. According to a Wall Street Journal report, Facebook is in talks with Hollywood studios about producing scripted TV quality shows. The company aims to launch original programming by late summer, says the same report. The social networking giant, reportedly in meetings with Hollywood talent agencies, has indicated that it is willing to commit to production budgets as high as $3 million per episode. If the report is to be believed, the company has already lined up Strangers, a relationship drama, and a game show called Last State Standing. The company is expected to release episodes in a traditional manner instead of dropping an entire season in one go like Netflix.
We do something in a different way with a handful of people.
Now, clearly, Facebook aims to be at the center of the technology world. While some tech companies are getting better and going farther, it seems the same cannot be said about Le Echo, which is one of China's most ambitious companies, and who in the recent past was credited for a lot of firsts in the tech space. But Le Echo's cash problems are now far worse than expected. According to the company's chairman, the funds raised in recent months are unexpectedly not enough to help it ride out of the crunch. Le Echo grew from a Netflix-like video website to a business empire, consumer electronics, to cars within 13 years, but is now struggling to support its goals that include beating Elon Musk's Tesla Motors in premium electric vehicle making.
Second gen of superphones are moving smartphones into a future where
Its billionaire founder and CEO has previously said the firm is battling a cash crunch after expanding at an unprecedented rate. It seems that Le Echo will need to further consolidate its non-listed units in the next 2-3 months and dispose of some fixed assets and even equity assets in order to combat the poor cash crunch situation.
our Super TV sold over 3 million units in 2018.
And before we wrap this bulletin, let us warn you that a new cyber attack is disrupting computers across the globe. The new ransomware attack comes in the wake of WannaCry that infected over 300,000 computers last month. Similar to the last month's WannaCry attack, the new Petya ransomware is crippling thousands of computers and disrupting ports from Mumbai to Los Angeles. The virus is believed to have first taken hold in Ukraine, where it silently infected computers after users downloaded a popular tax accounting package or visited a local news website. And more than a day after it first struck Ukraine and Russia, companies from the world are now struggling with the fallout, while cybersecurity experts scramble to find a way to stem the spread. Just like WannaCry, Petya ransomware also locks access to a computer system and demands $300 in Bitcoin for a key to unlock the computer system. We suggest to keep your computers and networks safe, upgrade your machines to latest software, and never click on suspicious links. Well, that's it for this edition of Tech Check. For all the latest gadgets, previews, and trends, make sure to tune into our weekly technology program, Tech It Out, every Saturday at 6:30 p.m. and every Sunday at 3:30 p.m. Thanks so much for watching. For more news and updates, stay with us on World is One News. We'll come back right on the other side.